Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the V Spot. For today's episode, I want to take a closer look at fulfillment and have a conversation about how to begin to improve overall fulfillment and fulfillment in particular areas of your life. I started thinking about this a lot as I've been journeying, my own life, my own process, and I've been taking a real close look at where it is that I desire greater levels of fulfillment. And it got me thinking about fulfillment in new ways. And I thought it would be beneficial to have the conversation here in the V Spot in hopes that you will get exactly what it is that you need, possibly don't even know that you need, to move forward in a way that will start to improve your fulfillment. And so in this particular moment, I want to ask that you answer the following question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how fulfilled are you? Right now, just go with your gut instinct. On a scale of 1 to 10, how fulfilled are you? 1 being not so much, 10 being I'm fulfilled, right? Land on a score. And so wherever you are, I want to highlight the fact that there's the ability to boost that score, right? So whether you came in somewhere in the middle at around a 5, or if you are someone who came in at a 9 or a 10, or if you're someone who is coming in at a 1, 2, 3, wherever you are, it's merely information, right? The score is not about placing judgment on yourself. It's about identifying the fact that if you were to intuitively go with a number in this particular moment, that number is information. So what's the point, right? Why would we want to boost fulfillment? Why would we want to increase our number? And it got me thinking about a few things. Number one, fulfillment is not just about enjoying the journey, right? That's a key component of what fulfillment is, but it's not the only part of it. What I started to realize is that fulfillment also directly impacts our overall wellness, right? Our mental health, how we are experiencing ourselves in the world. And there's an opportunity to check into the major areas of your life in this particular moment to not only yield a score, right, which gives you information, but to identify what's next. And so if I were to take it a step further and ask you to look at the major areas of life: romance, friends and family, career, finances, wellness. And I ask you to give yourself a score, 1 to 10, in the department of fulfillment. Where would you land in each of those areas? Where would you land in each of those areas on a score of 1 to 10, fulfillment? Rate romance, friends and family, career, finances, wellness, right? Because the areas where you give yourself the lowest score, those are the areas that warrant your attention, right? There's some things that are not currently yielding the joy and the satisfaction that's possible for you. And so as I've been looking at this, it has certainly pointed me in the direction of what deserves my focus. Where do I want to improve my fulfillment? And what can I do? What would yield greater scores? And so as I've been exploring fulfillment and this particular conversation in terms of first identifying and then looking to, okay, this is where I'm going to focus next in terms of what I want to create for myself. I wanted to have this conversation with you because you too have the ability to not only assess where you are, but to then formulate a plan as to where you're going to go next, right? Because it's my guess that as you give yourself scores in all of the different areas, there are going to be some areas where you are, experiencing high levels of fulfillment. Therefore, those areas of your life don't need your attention and focus, right? Because you're able to sustain and maintain by continuing all the things that you're doing to yield those scores. However, it's also my guess that as you come up with your scores, there will be 1, 2, possibly 3 areas where you are not with the score that you would like to have. And therefore, there are some things going on in your life in those areas that warrant your attention. Now, what are they? Right? What is it that's not occurring that needs to occur to have your score go higher? What is it that you want to call forward? We want to look at this because, like I said before, if we're not experiencing fulfillment, what's the point? Right? We don't want to be navigating life in this automatic mode where we're checking off all the things that we have to do during the day. And then, come the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the year, it's sort of like, where am I at? Right? Am I experiencing fulfillment? Am I satisfied with the quality of my life? And if you're alive today, and you are, because you're watching this episode, my guess is that you are clear that there are some areas where you would make shifts and changes to experience greater levels of satisfaction and fulfillment, right? And they're going to be different for each of us. It depends on who you are, what you're up to, and what's working, and what has the results that you desire, and then looking at what doesn't. And so let's get crystal clear on this, because as I've been navigating this particular topic, I thought about how significantly important it is. And at any given point, we have the ability to design our lives so that things are different, and we are able to yield the results that we desire. And is it easy work? I mean, I'll challenge and say that it's harder not to do the work, right? Because when we're not experiencing fulfillment, that's not always fun, right? So yes, there's work involved. Yes, it requires your attention. It requires discipline. It requires honest conversation with yourself, right? Checking in, awareness, consistency, all of the things. And it's all possible, right? And so I keep bringing up this conversation in different spaces and places with people about the fact that your life is not a never-ending story. It doesn't go on and on forever. And if you've been tuned into the V-Spot, you've heard me say that before. And so this is not me talking about life not being a never-ending story from a morbid perspective. It's to create a sense of urgency so that you stop waiting, right? And stop being casual about the experience you want to have, and start to design your life to do just that. Gift yourself the experience you want to have, right? And so when we're in a conversation of fulfillment, urgency is absolutely, part of the conversation, because we don't want to postpone our fulfillment. We don't want to wait until whenever to experience it, right? It's about honing in on it now. And so I asked you to give yourself a score in various areas so that you get crystal clear in this moment on this episode as to what area of your life warrants your attention, right? And there may be healing work to do in the area that has the lowest score. There may be some limiting beliefs. There may be some painful moments. There may be some overcoming that has to happen to create a different experience, a different narrative. But we want to be urgent about starting the work to do just that, right? In the name of equalizing your fulfillment across the major areas of life, right? And so all of this conversation and these things, as I've been looking at my own life and identifying, that's the area, right? Because everything that I bring to you, I'm fully immersed in for myself. It got me thinking about this notion of still haven't found what I'm looking for, right? And so I decided to launch and host an event that is going down on Tuesday, May 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's happening at Le Petit Cafe here in Brooklyn. So if you are in the tri-state area and you want to attend the event, I would love to have you in the building. And if you are out of state and you want to attend this event, still haven't found what I'm looking for, virtual tickets are available. It's going to be the first time that I'm going to, do the virtual thing while I'm in the space hosting live, but it's so important because the essence of the event is fulfillment. And again, I say, what's the point, right? If we're not experiencing greater, deep levels of fulfillment, what's happening? And so, still haven't found what I'm looking for is going to take this conversation deeper, right? We're going to be looking at fulfillment through the lens of awareness and intention, and looking to identify where we're experiencing it, where we're not, right? What do we desire to create? What do we think will boost our fulfillment scores? And mapping out the roadmap to taking action to have it happen, right? Because no one is going to come along and turn up the dial of your fulfillment scores. It's work that only you can do, but you need to do it, right? Because if you're not going to do it, how's it going to get done? And so the premise of still haven't found what I'm looking for is to spend a couple of hours in the conversation of fulfillment. It's to really get intimate with the conversation of fulfillment and what's required on an individualized level to turn that dial up. Because what's going to have you experience fulfillment on deeper levels is different than what's going to have me experience it, right? And it's a personalized journey. So we want to take time from our busy lives to be with fulfillment in this particular way, to get exceptionally clear on where we are, where we're looking to go, and then bridge the gap on how we're going to get there. And so it's my hope that if you are in the tri-state area in New York City, you will pause from your busy lives and be purposeful about coming to Brooklyn to spend 2 hours for this particular event. And if you're not in the tri-state area and you want to attend the event, to get clear on where you are with your fulfillment, how your fulfillment is currently set up, how you are looking to change some things, right, to experience yourself and your life differently, virtual tickets will be available. So whether you have all the things, all the areas with 10s, or you are looking to bring your scores up to a 10, there's opportunity for you in this particular space. So it's my hope that you take time out and you join me. I'm looking forward to being in the space with many of you. And for those of you who will be virtual, I can't wait to be in the virtual room with you. Let's take time from our lives and the automatic happenings that are part of our days, and pause to be with what might be one of the greatest aspects of the journey, fulfillment. And so consider this your invitation to join me at the event. I'm looking forward to ensure that you identify where you are currently experiencing fulfillment, where you seek to desire greater levels of it, and how we're going to get you there. So in the name of fulfillment, I want to say thank you for being with me for this particular episode of the V-Spot. I'm looking forward to seeing you. The ticket, the link to Eventbrite will be in the show notes, so you can quickly access it. I hope to see you on May 9th. And until we meet again, to be continued.